Sorry, I thought you were only joining me for last week because you had the bank holiday on Monday.
Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of F1 for North America. It's round 4 tonight. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I am Benikage. With me as the wonderful tipster from the other side of the pond. Good late evening, early morning to you, tipster.
Akshamun Khair to you too, Benikage. And yes, we're in the streets of Baku tonight, the 4th stop in our 17-week season. It's been quite a season so far, especially considering we had Monaco last week. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shake up tonight.
Hopefully less retirements. We had 10 of them in Monaco last weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully for, just a few less. Just a little bit less. Still, yeah, it's going to be, I think, a great race. Baku's a much-loved track. I'm not a huge fan of some street circuits like Monaco, but I think Baku and Albert Park really are kind of the two that I absolutely love, and this is a really fun track, tipster. I mean, there's a lot of interesting, parts to it. If you're good in the slow corners, you're going to eat up the castle section, although it's a little bit hard to overtake there. And if you got the straight line speed, you're going to absolutely love Sector 1. So a little bit of both there, a little bit of everything for the drivers there.
Yeah, exactly. This is the fastest street circuit in the calendar, with that huge straight, well, almost straight. I mean, there's a couple of turns technically, but they're not really turns throughout Sector 3 on the home stretch towards the finish line. So not only are our drivers' abilities going to be tested here, but also how much they're willing to compromise. Will they pull back on that downforce to give them that straight line speed, or will they focus on traction and cornering? It's a toss-up, really. It really is. But it'll be interesting to see how those strategies play out tonight.
It is really a toss-up. But before we get back to more talk on the circuit, let's take a look at our F1 standings, shall we? You have got Lucas at the top, 66 points. Flavio on 63. Lucas actually claiming the top spot in the championship after his back-to-back race wins in Spain and Monaco. Flavio, of course, winning the opening race of the season in Bahrain. Lars is third in 42 points. And he's got a double third place. That's going to put him up into third. Fizzy is holding steady. He's got very good consistency. A 6th and 4th and a 5th is good enough for a 4th position in the standings, 12 back of Lars. And then Steph with a big leap, getting 6th place in the last race. Steph is up to 5th, Igor 6th, to Zeke 7th. Giovanni Santos with his 1/5 place is 8th, Jackie Jack 9th, and Shentar is 10th. What about the constructors' standings there, tipster?
Well, over in the constructors' standings, Aston Martin are storming ahead with a 1-2 finish at the last couple of races. Never thought I'd see Haas in second, but it's due to the efforts of Lars and Firefox combined that they've got there. 18 points behind them are Alpine, who have had Fizzy and Jack picking up fairly consistent points finishes over the past few weeks, who are being closely tailed by McLaren with Igor and Shetnar at the helm. 5 points further back, we have the AlphaTauris of Ramon and Steph, where Steph has finished in the points every week so far. Ramon has crashed out of the past 2 races. The Mercedes team have surged up to 6th after Tazik's 4th place finish last week. Red Bull and Williams have moved down the pecking order after both of their drivers were unable to cross the line at Monaco. Ferrari picked up points because of Wilhelm, who managed to keep their nose clean around the twists and turns of last week's street circuit. And Alfa Romeo are trailing on just 2 points. But, as they say, it's early days as we head into round 4 of the season on the streets of Baku, Azerbaijan.
Absolutely, and they are ready to get underway. We are just loading in.
Yep, a couple of notes on our drivers this week. Carlo is off. They're being replaced by StarCraft in the Mercedes, and Bulldog, who we saw take home points last week, will be standing in for Zephyr in the Alfa Romeo.
Yep, fantastic. Thank you so much for the notes, actually. That's very helpful. So I believe Zephyr, is somebody got a full-time seat, actually. Is that, oh, that was in the EU. I'm sorry, that was in the EU F1. I beg your pardon. But nonetheless, we are about ready to get underway. You see, there's quite a few cars coming out of the pits. They're ready to get rolling. I am as well. Shentar, Starcraft, Andy, Flavio, they're all coming out of the pits. I believe they might be being led by, who's at the front of the pack? I think it's Rafa who's at the front of the pack. Yes.
Yeah, Rafa, Ramon, yeah.
Yeah, there's one ahead of him. I think it's, yeah, it is Ramon. So Ramon is going to be the first driver to really try to put in a lap, and then it's Rafa behind him. But pretty much no hesitation from all of these drivers there, Tipster. They're all coming out very early here to start their laps.
Well, not only that, but some of them are going out on mediums, perhaps to see if they can start on that compound in the race, because honestly, the softs aren't great race tyres here. They last a few laps, and that's about it. After that, the mediums really pick up in performance and overtake them. So it'll be interesting to see. It will shave, it will cost them about half a second in terms of qualifying time, trying to get across the checkered flag on the mediums there. But we'll see what happens with that. And I believe all of our drivers are now out on track.
There are two in the pit still, Flavio and Bruh. So
well, Flavio's just come out by the look of it. They're just rounding turn 2 now.
Yes.
And Bruh.
Well,
Bruh a stand-in this week?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so though. He was there last week as well. I mean, it doesn't mean he couldn't be a stand-in, but still. So we got a full grid this week though. That's the nice part. We were, I think, one shy of a full grid North America last week. Of course, by the end of the race, we were about 11 cars shy of a full grid. But still, I think it'll be a lot better this week as we see Ramon following him out on his lap. He's going to head into this Castle section. And I wanted to ask you, actually, Tipster. You know, there was talk in the post-game interviews for the EU race that the softs really, from Jan Fehler, the eventual race winner, only lasted like 1 to 2 laps. He said he really didn't want to, at least the ones that you qualified on, right? Not just softs in general, but the ones you qualified on. He said he really only wanted to make them last about 2 laps. Are you surprised by that? Do you think the softs have more life, or is this really going to be kind of drivers dumping the softs early?
So the softs kind of lose their effectiveness about 4 or 5 laps in. So after you've done your out lap, your quali lap, your in lap, your formation lap, and then your first 2 laps, that's 5 or 6 laps already. So they're really starting to wear, and by the time you've hit your 8th lap, you're actually potentially at risk of a puncture. That's getting into dangerous territory there. So I can see why people are wanting to dump the softs fairly early on. Does mean, however, you're going to be making 2 stops in the Grand Prix, which each stop here is going to cost you about 21, 22 seconds, depending on how quick you are with your reactions there. As our first set of people make it across the line, and it looks like Jackie Jack has just posted a 138 dead.
It's a very good lap.
That is, although looking at, I believe, Rafa there, who is on the mediums, the pace for our mediums there, a 139.1. There's definitely more to find there as we see Igor go top with 137.4 on the softs. Fizzy posting into second there as well. We do still have 3 runners out on the mediums, one of which yet to post a time, so we'll see how that fares for them. Yeah, and
Flavio is out. I'm following him. He's through the Castles section right now. Looking pretty good. He's coming up to the end of Sector 2. We'll see how he is when he gets to the line. My broadcast, if you will, my F1 game is a little bit behind yours, so he takes a... Oh, he's hit the wall, Flavio.
Oh.
And he's hit it pretty hard. There's definitely got to be wing damage there, although he has the end plate still on. But I think that's going to be him coming into the pits. I think that lap is shot. We'll see if he decides to
Yeah.
do that. I think it's shot. So we're gonna switch to let's go over to Zeke actually.
I was going to say Lars. Lars is on the mediums. They're
Okay.
about to come down the home straight now, so we're going to get a representative pace here for the time difference. And they are just coming down the home stretch and crossing the line, taking P6. And there we can see they're about a second and a half shy of Igor there. More pace definitely to find as a few more laps go invalid on our timing screen as well. What's happening with Flavio over there? I'm seeing some yellow flags.
Yeah, I'm seeing some. He's just holding up, or he's pulling up so that cars can get by him, really. Or they could be holding up to start their lap, one of the two. But nonetheless, it is going to be to Zeke, by the way, who goes P5. He has shown very good pace, but he's been slightly inconsistent throughout. So I think from him, he'll need to really kind of show that he has the consistency as I'm on board now with Flavio, who I believe is on his in lap actually. So we're going to switch over to, let's switch over to Shentar, who's on his out lap actually. So the thing is too, Tipster, you have some drivers here who have had good pace, who have yet to really put on a lap time. The likes of Shentar, the likes of Bruh, the likes of Murphy's Law, remember, who had a little bit of pace. He's kind of a midfield runner. And then Steph as well is on his out lap. Actually, we're going to ride on board with Steph, who is getting ready to come across the line to start his flying lap. So one of the more consistent point scorers, you said, Tipster, scored in every single race so far this season, looking to continue that streak, and they are going to start their flying lap. So we'll see how Steph does through turn 1 and 2, looking pretty good. Going to get that DRS open down on the straight. Are you still with me there, Tipster?
Sorry, yes, we had a minor technical hiccup. So as we pull into turn 3 with Steph, just staying wide of the apex there, because those softs really do like to spin out on some of these curves here. Now pulling into some of the more difficult turns on this circuit, 5 and 6. Two very sharp 90-degree turns, back to back almost. As we start coming into the castle section, this is where the traction really helps. You've got to be really careful through here to avoid that wall as we start going into sector 3, and this is where you need to put the foot down.
Well,
because
I'm sorry, who are you riding along with?
I was riding with Steph.
Yeah, they haven't validated the lap though.
Oh,
that track circuit is red, so this lap will not count. So I think it's going to have to be back to the pits for Steph, because this lap is invalidated. But we're going to switch over. We've got Murphy's Law, who is yet to post the time. I want to keep an eye on Flavio and Lucas, by the way, who have come out of the pits again. So they are just about to, I believe, they're in sector 2. So they're on a flying lap. But it is Murphy's Law coming up to the line. Question is, what is the time going to be?
And
oh, in the pits. Okay, it was a flying lap, but they've abandoned it.
And I think we've just seen there, Andy's got a 5-place grid penalty and has crashed into the wall. Lundqvist has also retired from the session. That might be terminal damage from the crash with Andy there. Just taking a look now. I believe that's the case.
I haven't seen anything come across yet. Oh, there's Andy retiring, and there's Lundqvist, bro. So, yeah, both of them out of the session with no time. They'll be starting at the back of the grid. Lucas is coming up to the line, by the way, for his flying lap. We'll see what time. It's a 1:41.1. Doesn't improve on the 1:41 flat. So Fizzy currently on an outlet and holding second place. Igor is provisional pole with a 1:37.4, but it's Jackie Jack now in sector 2 on what I believe is a flying lap.
Yes, sorry. We're having all kinds of Discord issues tonight, I'm afraid. Yes, Jackie Jack looks like they're out on a flying lap. Currently P3, looking to make up about 6/10. Igor going out on the mediums here by the look of it, or prepping to. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there as Jackie Jack comes across the line, posting a 1:37.4, putting them provisionally P2. I think we have. Is that That's not Sabbath. That is Sabbath. Sorry, Sabbath moves up to P5 with a 1:38.6. And then we have I think that's StarCraft about to cross. No, it isn't. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of people confused because my notes are slightly old. It's Tazik, sorry. Tazik, who is, I believe, just starting their hot lap now. Rounding
Yes.
turn 3.
You also have quite a few of the leaders out on the track for a second lap. Jackie Jack, Fizzymon, Ramon. As we're gonna go on to, let's go on to. Oh, Fizzy! I just switched on to him. Maybe it's the commentator's curse. He's clipped the inside of the wall on turn 8. He's got it back all the way out of the castle section. He's reversed around turn 9 and 10, but he slammed the side pod into the wall and spun the car. So that's the end of Fizzy's lap. And so Ramon and his teammate, I believe, who's his teammate? They are out on a flying lap, I believe. So, or his teammate is Steph. So Steph is, I believe, out on another flying lap. Yeah, just started a flying lap. But nonetheless, it is going to be Ramon on a flying lap here. Coming around the final turn, it is what you and I could certainly consider the final turn there, Tipster. It's just the straight that's left. It's flat out. Is it going to be? No, it's not. It's going to be a 1:43. This is definitely going to be pulled off. This lap is done. It's over with. And so I'm going to ride Fizzy. Firefox actually spun. I wanted to point out Firefox, Tipster, because there was talk from Firefox himself that he had unlocked, he said in his own words, quote, he's unlocked the secrets of Baku. And I think he said he's got a lap around like a 134, 135, which is the pace that we actually saw in the European League. So I'm not going to say it's not possible, but, you know, definitely think more is required from him, certainly so far in this qualifying session. They got 4 minutes to go. Lars crossed the line. He's got a 138.988. So he's still going to hold on to 7th place.
Steph is just coming down the home straight across the line now to post their first time. They go P8 with a 1:39 dead. That's their first attempt at a lap. There isn't really much time to get back in the pits and do another one, so either they're going to have to run a second attempt right here. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. The red fuel light is already flashing, so I think that's it for Steph right now. P8, the maximum they can get out of this.
Indeed, Murphy's Law following alongside with Murphy's Law. One of the last drivers besides Bruh to, I gotta say it like the video, man. You gotta say it like the Bruh sound effect #2 every time. But no, it is Murphy's Law who is coming up to the line. My timing, because of the lag I'm having, is got it a bit off, I gotta say. So Murphy's Law, where is he ended up here?
Murphy's Law goes P8, pushing Steph down to P9. We have Bruh, who is just rounding turn 1 now and onto their hot lap. Their first hot lap. They're out on mediums as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. They had fairly good pace at Monaco last week, but unfortunately went into a wall. They
did, but their lap is invalidated. The track is red. It's Lars, meanwhile, who's gotten pole position. 137.412, 7/1000ths of a second quicker than Igor. So fantastic from him.
There could be more pace out there for Igor. That's the thing. Was that time set on mediums?
Which one?
The 137.419, was that on mediums or was that on softs?
That was on
My
softs.
That was softs. Okay. I mean, 7 thousandths is certainly findable. I don't know if they're going to find it on the mediums that they've got on now. They might be pulling in and just calling it a day there. But it looks like a lot of people opting for the softs to start here. And as we saw in EU earlier, they do wear out fairly quickly around Baku.
And one thing that's interesting, I decided to switch over to Flavio. He's got an invalidated lap. He might have just enough time to get it back over to the pit, or at least towards the start-finish line to start another lap. He definitely doesn't have time to go into the pit. He did slam into the wall a little bit. He brushed it on the exit of turn 2. Now, he's on the mediums as well. He's on an outlap, so on his outlap, he's just brushed the wall, so interestingly enough. But, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Benny, but Bruh just went P5, now P6. They've been overtaken by, I believe, Fizzy there. On the mediums, a 138 dead on the mediums. If they keep in the top 10, they've got kind of a strategy for the race set out for them there.
Absolutely. No, don't mind the interruption at all. Again, my timing table is lagging a little bit. Trying to bring this stream to you guys in 720. It's pretty much using the limit of my internet. But nonetheless, yeah, Flavio on an outlap. We'll see if he can get it across the line in time. It's going to be awfully close, actually. I think he's just going to come across the line with like 15 seconds left. So he should be able to start a hot lap. And these are mediums, so to his credit, they're not going to be like softs. They're not going to be a necessarily completely scorched tire. But he's got traffic ahead of him that he's going to have to try and wade through here to get a flying... Oh, the sector is still yellow for me. I don't know if he's posted a time, but it is...
Flavio has gone P1 on the mediums with a 137.1. And that's the end of the session. 3 minutes on the clock. Final lap. The bell rings.
How about that? So
where are we?
So you said Flavio P1.
Flavio P1 with a 137.1 on the mediums.
Lucas has gone P4, by the way. He's got the 137.5. Igor retires in the session. Lars has pipped him down to third, or he's pipped him down to fourth, really. Lars takes third. Fizzy, though, you know, one of the more consistent drivers here, Tipster, he's right alongside Flavio for the start of the Grand Prix right now.
Yeah, as Lucas Jan goes over the line with a 137.3, also on the mediums. So I think Aston Martin have got a race strategy together here, ditching the softs from the get-go.
Yeah, it's a really good laps from the mediums too. That's the thing. The medium compound tires are so overpowered on this track. They're just very, very quick, and they're going to be able to start on those medium tires. So it puts a lot of pressure on people like Fizzy and Lars, maybe, and Igor, maybe to try and get the overtake done early on in the session. But that's going to pretty much be it. I think, is StarCraft on a flying lap?
About to come down the home straight here to put in their next lap time.
Oh, yes.
I believe they're on the softs, and this goes... it's not an improvement. They were actually slower by 0.06 of a second. So I believe that's it for our qualifying session here.
Yeah, so Flavio gets another pole. Lucas gets second place, 1 and 2 in the championship, 1 and 2 on the grid. Fizzy is third. Good qualifying session from him, really. Lars is going to be fourth. Igor fifth. Jackie Jack sixth. Bruh seventh. Ramon is eighth. Tazik ninth. Sabbath is 10th. Murphy's Law 11th. Shantar 12th. Steph 13th. Firefox 14th. Rafa 15th. Bulldog 16th. Wilhelm 17th. StarCraft 18th. And then Andy without a time. And Lundqvist Bro without a time will start 19th and 20th. But interesting qualifying session there. Tipster, both are pole drivers starting on the medium compound.
Yeah, in fact, quite a few of our top 10 will be starting on the mediums. It looks like Bruh will be up there as well. Did Igor improve on the mediums? I don't think they did. So 3 of our top 10 will be definitely starting on the mediums, and everybody else is going to have free choice from Murphy downwards. So here is how the grid looks. You've got an Aston Martin front row with Flavio and Lucas Jan, then Fizzymon in the Alpine on in P3 with Lars P4 right alongside them. Igor in the McLaren P5. They are looking for redemption this race after failing to finish the last 2. Then it's Jackie Jack in the Alpine, Brut in the Red Bull, and Ramon in the Alpha Tauri 7 and 8. Tazik, who we saw come 4th last week in P9 in the Mercedes, and Sabbath in the Alfa Romeo in 10th. Then we have our back runners who've got a free choice of tyre. Murphy's Law, Shentar, Steph, Firefox in the Haas P14, Rafa, Bulldog, who is one of our reserves, Wilhelm, and I have lost track of the
they've gone off
as we go into the race.
Yeah. One thing to note, actually, so the 2 drivers that didn't post the time, Lundqvist Bro and Andy M. Lundqvist Bro on the chart showed 20th, but he will actually start 19th. Andy M has got a 5-place grid penalty for his collision with Lundqvist Bro, so it will be Lundqvist Bro 19th and Andy M 20th. But that is your qualifying. Really, I'm just kind of shocked that the mediums have that much pace. I mean, not that it's from Lucas or Flavio. I mean, they have been 2 of the best drivers so far this season, without a doubt. But, you know, nonetheless, the fact that they could put the mediums on the front grid, because there is pace elsewhere in the field, and it's just not really enough to challenge these 2 Aston Martins.
That's the thing, is that these Aston Martins have been consistently leading the Grand Prix for the last 3 rounds. They can afford to take the half a second hit on their qualifying time and start on those mediums, which is going to give them an advantage. It means they can, if they want, do a 1-stop, medium to hards, as our formation lap gets underway. Suggested strategies here at Baku: medium to hard 1-stop, switching over on lap 12, or a 2-stop, 6 on the softs, 10 on the mediums, and then another 10 on the mediums. That is apparently about 6 seconds slower than the 1-stop. Alternatively, if they've qualified on the softs, maybe extending those mediums further to 11 laps and only having 4 on the softs to begin with will work out better for them, as they've already worn those tyres in. Looking at tyre choices on the grid, we can see that Lundqvist has opted for the hards. Most of the back of the grid have opted for the mediums, except for, and now I have to do some counting here.
2 drivers, well, 3 really. Steph on the softs, Wilhelm on the softs,
and then Wilhelm and Steph are the only of our back half of the grid starting on the softs. And then obviously the 3 that we had qualify on the mediums: Flavio, Lucas, and Bra. With that potentially tactical advantage, they've got options open to them, whereas everybody who's starting on softs is locked into a 2-stopper. They could theoretically go 1-stop in this race. They could also take significant advantage of a safety car as well, and adapt that 1-stop strategy into a 2-stop on the fly.
Well, there's nothing to stop them from going soft straight to hards. That's also a possibility, but you know, those hards would not have the life at the end of them. Really, it's just a track that wears
difficult.
your tires. Yeah, it's very difficult.
I was looking at I was speaking to our boys in research and analysis, and it is possible to do soft hard, but you are going, like, if you need to be managing those tires well, otherwise you are risking a puncture either on your softs or at the end of your hard stint towards the end of the race. And honestly, no one wants a puncture on lap 26.
I don't, absolutely not. I don't blame you. So, interested to see how they go. We did get a safety car in the EU event, so I'm not going to put it out the realm of possibility, especially given how kind of chaotic the NA scene has been.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
particularly with Monaco, right? It was pretty chaotic. Although we did have 3 safety cars in Bahrain and I think another 2 in Spain. So you would I guess expect it in this street circuit, especially with the castle section the way it is. But we'll see how they go.
Well, it's 5 lights and away they go. Flavio and Jan leading us into turn 1. The 2 Aston Martins. No one's going to be really battling it out into turn 1, I hope, because that's how early safety cars happen. As Igor tries to make a pass for P4. Lars tries to stop them, but they make it. So Lars now goes up to P4. I believe Bruh has also passed Jackie Jack whilst on the mediums. Bruh now P5. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. I believe that is due to traffic more than anything. No,
that's
someone
Bruh.
spun out.
I'm looking
That's
at
Bruh.
Bruh. Yeah, that's spun out. So he'll be in P20 right now. And yeah, he
Lars
is.
has also had a problem as well by the look of it. P19. Maybe they had a little bit of contact there.
My timing board has not caught up. I'm still in the formation lap according to it, but it is Flavio first, Lucas second, Fizzy is in third, having a good race. He has got Igor right behind him. Actually, that is a lot of pressure that Igor is applying to Fizzy early on. Remember, DRS doesn't come on until lap 3, so we'll see if Fizzy can hold on to this P3 as Igor is right behind him. The timing board, my timing board is not caught up yet.
Yeah, we're having, I've got some notices from race control. There's been a small collision between Lars and Andy. They've both received warnings for that. And then Lars and car 25, which is, I don't know.
I have no clue. But Igor has gotten around Fizzymon, so Igor is up into P3, and now Fizzy's got his teammate behind him, Jackie Jack, trying to pressure down on him. He's just outside of second. Fizzy would love to get the position back, but Igor's got a lot of pace. It's not going to happen for just right now. Timing board still yet to update for me. It's just it's partly the lag and partly the Codemasters glitch. So
all over me as well.
Yeah.
By the look of it, we have. Yep, no, my timing board is actually all over the place. It's difficult to keep track here. I believe it says Tazik's P1. I don't
it's a
quite
glitch.
believe that.
It's a glitch. It's a glitch that they haven't patched out the game yet. It is still Flavio P1, Lucas P2. Igor's up to P3. Fizzy is behind him in P4. And then Jackie Jack P5, Ramon is P6. So the 2 Alpines here looking for good points, running 4th and 5th. But nonetheless, it is Flavio in the lead. Lucas trying to stay right on his tail, but a little bit of a gap forming there. But there's a big gap between 2nd and 3rd, way outside the DRS ranges. It's about to be enabled once they come over the line.
Well, this is the thing. The softs have got to capitalize on these opening, and the people on softs have got to capitalize on these opening laps, because honestly, the tyre wear is going to kick in a couple of laps time. In fact, it'll start kicking in this lap. So they've got to make the most of this DRS while they've got it before they dive into the pit lane. And it could be the case that a lot of our back runners are dictating the pace once that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the risk you take running the softs, or having to get onto the softs, I should say, for the qualifying, is that these back markers that have started on the mediums can dictate the pace in the middle part of the race. They almost did in the EU event. We'll see if they can do just the same in the NA event. A little bit of gaps forming around, though. Really, it's a my timing board's still going nuts. But
Yeah, likewise.
yeah, there are quite a few gaps that have opened up, it looks like. So Flavio goes quickest, 1:43.2. Interestingly enough, as I'm still riding on board with Igor, but let me know where you want me to direct the camera.
Lars seems to have had another spin out, as they're a lot further back than expected. No, sorry, they've come in for a pit stop. It looks like. I think they came in for a wing change. So they're now on fresh mediums. The battle for pole is still happening between Flavio and Lucas. Igor really needing to put the pressure on now if they can find the time. I know that the two Alpines are close. I couldn't tell you how close because the timing board is currently messed up. But it looks
Sabbath.
like there's about half a second behind them.
Sabbath has retired. What has happened to Sabbath is the question. He's retired from the session. As
brought out a safety car. It looks like it may have been terminal damage going into turn 19 into 20. It's going to be difficult to tell coming out of the home straight. I can't see the car as I ride on board with Lundqvist here. Yep, it looks like terminal damage.
Yeah, he has crashed it. It is tough to kind of keep control of the car there sometimes. You know, it does want to get loose because you got to keep it flat, obviously, for good pace and good lap time. But it can be very difficult to do so, and Sabbath falling victim to those small turns at the end of Sector 3. He has crashed. It has brought out the safety car, and we are, well, everybody's going to have to reset here because safety car is going to bunch up the field, and
yeah,
it's going to...
It's letting Bruh and Lars through, which means that they're not going to end up a lap down here. Bruh has just pitted for the hards now. Lars P19. So our field's going to be fairly close together once the safety car finishes up. We're probably looking a couple of laps here for the field to actually get back together. As we go into lap 5.
Yeah, absolutely. So, safety car will be caught up. Apologies for, well, the lag issues I'm having really on this end. So,
Flavio is diving into the pits. They're making the most of this safety car. Pulling in for I believe
the hards.
That
he's going on to the hards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
this early safety car. We've got 3 or 4. We've got the full front row. Going in, and it looks like they're all going onto hards by the look of it.
Yeah, Jackie Jack went onto the mediums from the softs. Ramon's going on to the hards. Fizzy stayed out. Let's see here. Where's Igor? Igor is actually going on to the hards. So let's get the timing board up on the screen for you. Flavio went on to hards. Bulldog stayed out. Fizzy is on the mediums. Igor is on hards. Jackie Jack went to mediums. Lucas hards. So it's a bit of a mix for everybody. Starcraft stayed out. Ramon and Rafa are on hards, but Steph is on mediums. And then, of course, Tazik, Firefox, Murphy's Law, they all stayed out. Andy stayed out. And, yeah, the back markers just finishing up their pit stops now. We'll see what they go on to. Bras on the hards, but he's down in P16, it looks like. Or is that my timing board again? As
Bra is P18 for me.
Yeah, he's P18 for me too.
So yeah, Andy's P16. The thing here is this early safety car has really nullified the effect of starting on softs. It's you're starting further back, but at the same time, that gap is not going to be as huge as it would have been taking a pit stop under normal race conditions. So this has actually worked out well for those that qualified on the soft tip.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely. It's kind of at the perfect time. It was right on the threshold of when those softs were kind of fading. So, really fantastic timing. And is my timing board actually is that Bulldog in P2?
That is Bulldog in P2. Having not pit, they have actually made it up to second here. Their tyres are going to be a little bit older. They, in fact, pitted lap 1, if you can believe that.
Oh, okay. Well, it was running in the back of the field, so that makes sense. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, Tipster, right? I know you can't ever really anticipate a safety car, and I don't want to suggest that that's what's going on here. But given the history of the first 3 races, you know,
Bulldog's dived into pits here.
Bulldog is coming into the pits, interesting enough. But what I was going to say, though, to give Bulldog credit if he hadn't pitted, was, you know, we've had, this is now our 6th safety car in the NA F1 League. And you could almost say a second wouldn't be unsurprising, right? And if that's the case and you know that, maybe you stay on the mediums just to get some more life out of them.
Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you try and push until that second safety car comes. But the thing is that if it doesn't, it's taking a huge risk. You're losing a lot of time there. The mediums are objectively better than the hards up until about lap 15. And then after that, the tyre wear is just that much that in fact after lap 16 or 17 they're in puncture territory. The hards aren't actually that good a tyre on paper. The one thing they're good at is just staying the course.
Well,
they can go for a full 20 laps if you manage them well.
You say that, and we did see that Tudor in the EU race had a lot of pace actually on the hard compound tires. So this might be the one track that the hards are, you know, a tire that you might find a little bit of pace on. But I'd imagine safety car will be in this lap. We should get that message shortly from race control. Just to reset things for you, Flavio first, Fizimon is second, Igor is in third, Jackie Jack fourth, Lucas fifth, Starcraft, who did not pit, is up to sixth position, Ramon seventh, Steph eighth, Rafa ninth. Where is, oh, Lucas is down to fifth after the pit stop. So not, you know, certainly he's got a lot of pace. He could regain those positions. It's just a question of how far will Flavio get in front, really. Fizzy has got to be loving the position he's in after the safety car. But the safety car is in this lap. Flavio is setting the field. The question is, when does he want to gun it? When does he want to go? He's still warming up the tires. And he looks like he's just not quite gone full throttle yet. We'll see. Fizzy's trying to stay close. He's giving the tires a weave. We got the telemetry on. When does he want to go? There it is. He's going to gas it. The question is, did Fizzy get away? Well, yes, he has. And now, ooh, Igor wants to look. Fizzy going on towards the inside, but as you were going through the first corner, now Igor on the inside of Fizzy. He's just having a look towards the end of turn one. He gets a good exit, but Fizzy shuts the door.
Yeah, and this is surprising for me because, you know, usually the hards are a second slower a lap to begin with. So, I mean, we could see that come up later in the lap, but the way it looks, the pace difference is non-existent at the moment.
Definitely keeping an eye on how close this battle here. It's 4-3. They're running down towards the castle section. Lars has retired from the session, so Lars is out, and Wilhelm is out as well. Have they crashed, or did they retire into pits? I think they retired into pits, but nonetheless.
There was a collision. Car 40. Who was car 40?
Might be Lars, nonetheless.
That's Wilhelm. Wilhelm and one of the other cars.
Probably Lars, because he's out as well, which is mega unfortunate. Lars has really good pace. He's kind of somebody you could expect to fight for a podium. He is now out of this race, as we're still along with Igor here. Murphy's Law is up to 12th, by the way, but still, we're going to ride on with Rafa. He's having a really good look at StarCraft here. He wants to get very close to the back of this Mercedes, and just as I say that, Igor actually has a look at Jackie Jack, but can't get by. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Jackie Jack that's gotten by Igor. Jackie Jack, the other Alpine, has moved up into third position, so it's a double podium for Alpine right now. Fantastic, as Murphy's Law overtakes Firefox for P11. StarCraft and Rafa fighting it out for P8. We'll see that. The Merc just staying ahead of the Red Bull.
The thing is, I wouldn't want to be in Igor's position right now. I'm chasing down Jackie Jack, but I've got Lucas Yarn breathing down my neck, just half a second behind. It is I would not want to be in that McLaren right now, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, Bulldog's retired as well. He is out. As, wow, we've got 4 retirements already in Baku. Sector 1, there's a yellow flag. Who is that?
Let's have a look. It looks like it's cleared up. Bulldog retiring due to terminal damage there. So that's our 4th DNF. Our two kind of long distance runners from Monaco out fairly on here in Baku.
Yeah. Steph in 7th, having a look at Ramon, his teammate. The 2 AlphaTauris about to battle. Oh, it's a pretty wide line, it looks like, from Ramon. Maybe conceding the position, but it is Steph that gets by. P6 for Steph. The 2 AlphaTauris free to absolutely try to start the chase down. It's a 5-second gap to the cars in front of them. DRS now enabled as well. And like you said, by the way, it is Lucas who is... Oh, who's that in the...
That's Shentar who's gone out there. And Murphy. Murphy's gone into the wall. I believe that's on the start-finish line. That's going to bring out another safety car, because that is right in the firing line of the home straight. And safety car has come out. I was just going to say, Murphy is right on the back of Rafa, and well, they the wheels have come off the bus, as it were, as Firefox, Rafa, and Andy dive into the pit now.
I'm a little bit, again, my timing's a little bit delayed. I haven't seen the safety car yet, but nonetheless, another safety car. I did say you could blame me for you can put the commentator's curse on me, man. I'll take it this time. I did say that you could probably expect a second safety car, and lo and behold, I just didn't expect it this soon, quite frankly.
Nor did I.
Yeah, no one. You would kind of expect it as tires were getting towards the end of their life. You know what I mean? The grip kind of levels fall off. It gets difficult. But these curbs are not necessarily super dangerous around here. You can kind of race, and the walls are in a lot of areas are very wide, so you can kind of send it between the barriers pretty easily.
I would disagree with you there. A lot of these curbs aren't dangerous, but some of them really are. If you put that front left on some of these curbs here, you will spin yourself into that wall fairly fast.
Well, I would say you're right. There are a few, like turn 16, that last kind of left-hander prior to the start of the flat-out section. You put your right tire on that curve, it can unbalance the car quite a bit. But aside from turn 8, obviously the start of the castle section, or that, at least that uphill, and of course turn 15, which I pointed out in the EU race, that kind of sharp left-hander before you dart down the hill to that final left-hander in turn 6. I think
diving into the pits here. Sorry to interrupt you. They're going on to a set of mediums now. Fizzymon's also come in. I think everybody's trying to take advantage of the second safety car here. But the hards could have lasted them the race. The mediums aren't going to last them the whole way, theoretically. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out here.
I had to switch off the pits because it just kept glitching on me. But nonetheless, you might be able to get the mediums to stretch. Here's the thing: it's lap 10. Safety car probably comes in what, lap 12? So yeah, you might be able to with a good amount of just kind of
14 laps. It's tight, I'd say.
But if you manage them well, you can get them to the end. Is the point? So.
Yeah, but the thing is, do you want to manage them well, or do you want to be able to push the car? That's the thing here.
It depends on your track position, I think. And if you're staying out, you're probably in front, needing to hold on, so you don't need to push as much. You just need to be able to defend. Not that this is a very easy course to defend on. Certainly, that straight makes it very difficult to defend, actually. So, it's what you got to balance. But nonetheless. I'll let you go through the pit changes and the tire compound changes because my timing board is behind.
So, having pulled in, we have Flavio and Fizzymon on the mediums, P2 and 3. Igor's come in for the mediums as well in P4. Steph in P5, also on the mediums. Everybody is pulled in apart from Firefox is on the mediums now. So, Firefox has opted for the hards. Possibly because they don't think the mediums can push that far. Starcraft in the Mercedes, Rafa in the Red Bull, and Ramon and Andy M also came in for the mediums there. We are waiting on, I believe, Andy and Bruh to catch up to the pack here before the safety car can come in. They're a little way back as I'm just reading over the race director's notes here, and it looks like people are crossing the pit lane exit, which is a dangerous game to play.
Very dangerous game to play.
Especially round that blind turn 1 there.
Yeah.
You could have someone smashing into the back of you, and that's not just potentially a penalty. That is your car out of the race potentially. So
we've had another retirement, by the way, under the safety car. That was Murphy's Law, so he is out as well. So
yeah, Murphy was what caused the safety car.
I thought it was Shentar that caused the safety car.
It might have been. It might have been both of them.
True.
But Murphy hit the wall on the start-finish line. So if anything's going to bring out a safety car, it's a car stranded in the middle of the home straight.
That's true.
As Andy has now caught up, we're just waiting on Bruh to catch up. He's now about 10 seconds back.
Yeah.
Just coming into Sector 3 now. If it looks like he's going to catch them in time. Don't know if the safety car is going to come in this lap.
I would think it comes in this lap. I would think this is coming in this lap. So
it depends if Bruh can get in range before the trigger point, really.
I think the trigger point is the end of Sector 2, and he's in range. He's definitely caught up to the pack, so I think safety car might come in this lap here. And there's a good chance of it.
And there it is, safety car in this lap. As we go to our pace setter here, Jackie Jack in P1. They're on 5-lap-old mediums, so their pace is going to be a little bit slower than the 5 drivers behind them. But they're going to want to keep those tyres nice and warm as they get ready to go green. Here, coming down the home straight. Safety car has pulled into the pit lane. Jackie Jack is now basically ready with the firing gun as they go full throttle across the line into lap 12 here. Safety car's out. And a very clean entrance into turn 1. Flavio not even getting a look in as they are, well, almost nose to wheel coming into the first DRS zone. Jackie having to expend quite a bit of overtake there to keep ahead, though.
Absolutely. So Flavio right on the heel. Fizimon is third. Igor is fourth. Ignore the glitch on my screen that says the safety car is still out. It's not even lap 10. It's like lap, what, 13, I think now?
Lap 12.
Lap 12, yes. So my timing board's a bit behind. But nonetheless, Jackie Jack is still in the lead. Flavio is making a move, though. He's on the outside. Can he get it to stick? Oh, it's a tight squeeze, and he's got to concede the position back to Jackie Jack because there just was not enough pace. So that you see on your screen from race control is a glitch. It is the lag, but it is still Jackie Jack in the lead. Flavio P2, Fizimon right behind. Fizzy would love for them to keep fighting like this and not swap positions. He doesn't want Flavio to get in front. He knows the pace that Flavio's got, but he needs them to keep fighting so he can stay within arm's reach. We round turn 16 here, going down towards the home stretch. Flavio might be going for the move now on this home stretch. It depends. We've seen how powerful the slipstream is. Is he going to be able to get a move done is the question.
Fizimon is actually closing in on Flavio, looking to make the pass here. And it looks like they're side by side as they come across the finish line. And Fizimon goes P2. It's an Alpine 1-2 right here in Baku.
Oh, but the switchback, Flavio, is going to get him on the run down to turn 2. He got him again, but DRS I believe, should be enabled. Is it not? So Fizzy might.
No, two
No,
laps
next
after
lap,
the safety
yes.
car comes in.
So-
And we've got a VSC as StarCraft has retired due to terminal damage here. I don't quite know what's happened there. Ramon's in the pit, so it looks like there might have been a collision between the two of them potentially, as Ramon is having a new front wing put on. Let me just have a look at the race director's notes.
StarCraft went into the wall at turn 1, so he went off the track on right wheels going into the wall at turn 1. So it's it's a virtual safety car, you said.
We've also got drive-through penalties for Tazik and Ramon for exceeding under VSC, and that is Ramon into the wall and out of the race as well. We've got almost as many casualties here as at Monaco.
I know, and it's not particularly a harder street circuit, really. So Ramon's actually pulled off on the he is parked on the exit road, or the exit, the runoff to turn number 3. So he's actually parked it outside the track nicely now.
Yeah, Steph seems to have pulled, seems to have spun out here, which has allowed Tazik into P9, but they have still got that drive-through penalty that they're going to need to serve in the next 3 laps. So that's going to put them right at the back of the grid here. They may as well serve it now, in my opinion. But it looks like they're pushing on as Fizzymon comes into the pits. In fact,
Interesting. Fizzy's in the pits. Jackie Jack still trying to stay ahead of Flavio. Flavio is really pressuring. Flavio looking here towards the outside. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. And it's Flavio to regain the race lead here on lap 14.
So looking at what I've got here, it appears Fizzymon had a bit of a collision there, and that's why they're pulling in. They had a small collision with car 19, who there isn't a 19 here. What are you on about, timing screen? But it has reported a small collision. Flavio. Sorry, they had a small collision with Flavio.
Yes.
So it looks like there was some minor damage caused when Flavio got past earlier in the lap. Tazik actually moving up a place to PA. Oh, that's because Fizzymon's of course. Where are we? Igor. Igor in P3 is right on the tail of Jackie Jack. Jackie Jack's not going to have DRS this time round because Flavio is well out of reach as they come into the home straight. Igor is closing significantly. They're now just a tenth behind them as Flavio sets the fastest lap here. And it looks like Lucas Yarn is trying to get a look in as well as Igor gets past. It was almost 3 abreast through turn 1 there.
Yeah, and Lucas does get by Jackie Jack. Remember, he had the DRS, so he's just absolutely going to pick up the pieces there on Jackie Jack. So that's Jackie Jack down into P4. So Flavio, ignore the timing board. It's shot on my screen, really. But it is Flavio in the race lead. Igor is second. Lucas third. Jackie Jack in fourth. So the McLaren of Igor now is going to try and have to fight off this push that's coming in from the other Aston Martin, the second Aston Martin, as Lucas is going to have DRS going in towards the final sector, or going in towards the final sector, really, as they move into the castle section, the middle sector, and this Aston Martin is staying absolutely pinned to the back. Has there been a spin? Is that Andy that's spun?
There's a safety car again, and I'm just trying to have a look here. I think it's further back. It looks like it might have been Andy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Andy's lost their front wing, so they are going at a snail's pace right now into the castle section. With Tazik and Fizzymon behind. They're going to be pulling in in this lap, I suppose. And that's what's caused the safety car by the look of it. having spun, they seem to have backed up some cars as well, and multiple cars being stopped on track has pulled the safety car out here.
Well, when you spin on the, you know, in the castle section, you leave debris in the castle section. That's to be expected. The problem, I think, is I think, was Flavio held in the pits? I'm seeing he was held. I'm seeing Lucas held. It could be lag on my part as well, but
well, they have pitted. They've come in for the softs. Igor opting to stay out and push the safety car round on 5-lap-old mediums. Flavio and Lucas possibly looking to go to the end here on the softs. Lundqvist, we were talking about the pit lane exit earlier. Lundqvist getting a 5-second penalty for basically dangerous driving around the pit lane exit there.
Interesting. He's got a 5-second penalty. I believe Ramon has served his, if I remember
Ramon's
correctly.
out.
Oh yeah, Ramon's out. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
As is Andy, actually. Andy's DNF'd. Andy's retired. So we're down to 11. We've got 9 DNFs here at Baku.
How is there 9 DNFs at this track? There is, you know, there were 10 at Monaco. There's 9 here. Fizzy's got to be loving this. He is sitting in P11. He had some wing damage. Now the field's going to bunch up for him. You can have a go to try and reclaim some of these points positions. But I'll tell you who it's really benefited. And that's Rafa. Rafa decided to stay out. He's on 6-lap-old mediums. But he's running in P3. And sure, he might not have the pace of all the cars around him. But he could be on for some good points here.
Firefox opting to stay out on the hards. 6-lap-old. They will go to the end. It's just a question of whether the softs can make it now, of Flavio and Lucas. In my personal opinion, looking at the testing that's been done by our analysis department, I don't think it's going to last. I think they're going to have to pit one more time before the end of the race. But I may be proved wrong. I may have to eat my hat.
We've seen the softs last about 7 or 8. In the EU race, so it is possible to stretch them. What it is going to do is it means that Rafa is going to have not only these mediums last to the end, but he's going to have quite a bit of pace left in him all the way through. So we'll see. Fizzymon, oh, it's a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Speeding in the pit lane. Fizzymon's pulled in and going on the softs as well. I mean, it depends when the safety car comes in, I suppose. And Fizzymon coming into the pits has certainly delayed it coming in. So maybe a strategic play here by Fizzymon to keep the safety car out longer and make those softs last that little bit longer, because this is the thing. As long as you're not last now, you're in the points. If you can believe it.
Yeah, it's almost a repeat of Monaco, but absolutely. And Fizzy is going to fancy his chances on the softs. You figure this safety car is going to come in this lap, and he's going to have to really just get 9 laps out of these tires. So it's doable with a little bit of tire management. It is doable. So we'll see if he can do it.
Stretch, though, is what I'll say.
What'd you say?
Said it's a stretch, though.
Yes.
With what I've seen, it is. But that final lap will potentially be puncture territory.
It's going to be dicey for him, that's for sure. He's definitely not going to feel the pace on laps like 23 to 24, 25, 26. So he's going to have to make the moves that he wants now and hope he's got the pace on him to get him to last all the way through. But safety cars should be in this lap. We have seen Fizzy catch up to the back of the field. So
there we go. Safety car in this lap. Tazik, even though they're in P10 right now, effective P9 because of Lundqvist's 5-second penalty. So currently, it's Lundqvist and Fizzy racing for the final points place at the moment as we get underway. Igor leading the pack.
He hasn't dropped the hammer yet.
Yeah. And it looks like we are going green as the safety car pulls in. Igor is now fully in control of the race as they put their pedal down, full pedal to the metal on overtake, and it is go, go, go into turn 1. And you've got Flavio breathing down your neck on the softs there. Igor, if they can hold this out for 2, maybe 3 laps, we'll actually see those softs die off fairly quickly. So it's just a case of defend, defend, defend. And those first 2 or 3 laps, there's going to be no DRS because we've just had that safety car.
Yeah,
so it's down to pure pace right now.
Absolutely. The Alpine, by the way, Jackie Jack is getting a lot of pressure from Lucas. Lucas here trying to have a go on the outside. There's just not enough track as they head into towards the second sector. There's just not enough room as it's going to be Igor having to be hold up behind Jackie Jack. So Fizzyman, by the way, he's already up to P9. So he's wasted absolutely no time through the castle section. They go up the hill. And I tell you what, this Aston Martin staying pinned to the Alpine. The Red Bull behind him, trying his best to keep pace. Lucas is very, very, very quick. Jackie has got to keep him behind. Certainly Igor would love him to stay behind, although he's going to have his own battle really with with Flavio, I should say. They move down into turn 16, and around they go. We'll see. Are they going to have a run down this straight? That's going to be the question. No DRS for the slipstream. You know how powerful it is there, Tipster. So is he going to have a go?
That's slipstream, but also you've got to be careful about that dirty air as they try and make a pass on Rafa down the straight, and they make it P3 at the moment. Although it looks like Lucas Yarn is also making attempts as they go P3 going into turn 1, and it looks like that's where we are right now. Igor out in front, keeping Flavio behind by only 3 tenths. Lucas Yarn is 1.7 seconds down, but closing that gap. Jackie Jack 6 tenths behind that in P5, and we've just had a change of position for 5th and 6th. Bra and Rafa in the Red Bulls.
Yeah, excellent. Now Fizzy, by the way, he is running down his competition. My timing board's gone absolutely haywire again. But Fizzy is done well. He's in P9, and he is right on the tail of Tazik, it looks like. He is really, really putting a lot of pressure on Tazik, who is being held up by Firefox. Remember, Firefox did not have a great qualifying session. He has been a little slow. They go up the hill through the castle section. We'll see if Fizzy can get the pass done. This is really, really one of the closest battles on the track. Tazik, Firefox, Tazik might want to have a go at this Haas pretty soon. He is pinned, and Fizzy's got to keep it there because he's not going to have DRS this time but he is next time. There's going to be the move, by the way, from Tazik. He's going for the inside down into turn 16. Fizzy is going for it as well. He's trying to keep a nose in there. The Haas is just ahead of him. Fizzy trying to get him to commit to a move, but it is going to be Tazik who's moved up, by the way, to P7, and we'll see if Fizzy can get by the slipstream. No DRS. The Haas has made a move. The Haas is actually going all over the place here. That
GRS now live this lap as up front there is a battle for P1 between Flavio and Igor, and this is where the softs really start wearing away. Igor trying to keep Flavio behind, but taking the inside line into turn 3 there and managing to regain P1. For this next section, it's got to be a constant battle here whilst they wear the softs down. Absolutely,
this is fantastic defending, really, from Igor. You gotta admit, I mean, this is just thrilling stuff. Down in towards sector 2, Flavio right on the tail, really wants to have a go, get this position. It is for the race lead. By the way, Fizzy has gotten beyond that Haas. He's up to P8 as well. So now he's got to just try and catch down Tazik. As many points as possible for Fizzy. He's got to be the target. Meanwhile, the target from Flavio is the race lead. You go through turn 15. That's the turn that can catch out a lot of drivers. It's quite a tricky one, Tipster, but they handle it well. And
that infamous esports line through there, not paying dividends at the moment from what I've seen. as we go into what is effectively the home straight. Flavio's going to have DRS through here, as is Lucas Jan. So you've got not just one, but two Aston Martins on the attack for pole here, as Flavio makes the pass down the straight once again. They manage to get the inside line into turn 1. Can they keep it for turn 2? It looks like they're going to stick it, but it does mean that Igor is going to have DRS down this second straight, looking for an opening with Lucas Jan breathing down their neck as they go into turn 4 right here, looking for the inside line, and no, Flavio manages to defend. Currently, Aston Martin P1 and 3, Igor sandwiched between them.
And Igor sandwich as he holds on to P2. He made one defensive move, but he couldn't really go for the overtake. He just didn't have enough track. That run down to turn 3, it's good, but it's just not as long as that home straight. And Igor kind of helpless to defend down that home straight. Really, there was nothing he was going to be able to do. He goes a little wide down there on turn 9. Wonder if he just clipped the wall with something. We'll see. I don't think he did, but it was awfully close. As Lucas.
Look like there's any damage.
No, I think he would have clipped it with a side pot or something, but I don't think there's any damage like you said. However, Flavio is almost a second out from Igor, so Igor might not have DRS again, and that's going to leave him pretty much all at sea to deal with Lucas. It is such a long straight, and Lucas is
both pushing overtake here, trying to get out of each other's clutches. Igor is now back in range as they hit the detection zone, and DRS is live. Igor is closing 9 tenths, 8 tenths, going into turn 1, crossing the finish line, crossing the start-finish line for lap 22, and they've managed to close the gap to 7 tenths, as that looks like a bit of front wing has gone flying. I can't quite tell off who.
Neither can I. Meanwhile, Bruh, by the way, through all that has claimed 4th position, so Bruh having a good race. He's up to 4th. Fizzy trying to catch down Tazik, and Tazik is trying to catch down the other Red Bull in Rafa, who is 5.5 tenths back of Jackie Jack. So Jackie Jack trying to stay, in contention for this 4th place. He's really close to Bruh to try and get the place back. Switching over actually to Jackie Jack now as he head over towards the castle section. That Alpine has got a lot of pace. Oh, sector 1, there is a yellow flag.
Yes, looks like it's been cleared, but Steph managed to pass Fizzymon, so maybe Fizzy spun out there. I'm just looking now. Doesn't seem like there's any damage on Fizzy, but they have moved down to P9, well, it's effectively they do look like they've lost some pace somewhere. Fizzy posting a 44 for sector 1.
Yeah, but that's the sector he spun in. Something happened because he was 4 tenths back at Tazik, and now he's 1.6 back to Steph, and Steph is 7.5 back at Tazik. So he lost 9 seconds in sector 1 somewhere. So,
yeah, it looks like a spin happened. It doesn't look like any damage has been sustained. I guess we'll find out as Fizzymon approaches the pit lane. They're now effectively trying to hold off Lundqvist because they've both got 5-second penalties to serve. So they're not only have they got to catch up to Steph to get another place, they've got to get 5 seconds clear. So there is an effective 6-second gap to 8th for Fizzy right now.
Correct. And Lucas Jan, meanwhile, up the field, has gotten by Igor, so he is up to 2nd place. Bruh, meanwhile, has been passed, I should say, by Jackie Jack again. So Bruh down to 5th. Jackie Jack is up to 4th, and so my time board's just going mental again. But nonetheless, it is going to be Bruh back in P5th. We'll see if he can get the run back on Jackie Jack, who wants to hold on to this 4th place for Alpine. Remember his teammate in Fizzymon running in P9 right now.
Jackie Jack's got some good opportunities coming up here because all 3 of the front runners are going to be at the end of their tyre life about now, as Igor is within DRS range of Lucas Jan. Jackie Jack has managed to gain a couple of tenths there through sectors 1 and 2 by the look of it. No, okay. Timing board lied to me. Thank you, timing board.
It's been all over the shop for me too, nonetheless.
It's been all over the shop. But Igor's going to have DRS once again going across the start-finish line as we go into lap 24. 3 laps to go here at Baku. And Igor honestly looking for, looking good for a podium, but it's just a case of where on that podium they will be.
It's looking at like third because Igor does have DRS, but that gap is widening ever so much. I mean, it is really...
It seems like it's a bit of an accordion right now as they go below 7/10. It's staying fairly stable.
But he's losing the pace in the castle section. So Lucas here has a big opportunity now to put that second gap between him and Igor.
Well, let's see what happens through this castle section then as they come around into the castle here. Lucas navigating it with ease. Igor manages to stay within 8/10 of them and pushing that gap closer to 7, maybe even 6 as they reach what is fondly known as the esports corner, and into what will be the home stretch round turn 17 right here. 7/10 the gap. If they can keep the pressure on, they'll be able to get that DRS, because Lucas is not going to have DRS on Flavio at this time round. They're 1.7 seconds back. So maybe, just maybe, Igor can get that pass in these next 3 laps as those soft tyres are starting to wear away so much. They are gaining so much time here. 4/10, 3/10 into turn 1. And they're going to have DRS once again out of turn 3. And within 5/10 of Lucas Yarn here.
Yeah, this should get them close, but not close enough for the overtake. Still, it's a lot of ground he's made up this last lap than the previous one, so he's going to go into the section. Remember, he was about 7/6 back. He's now about 3.5, 4 going into turn number 3. So definitely time gained. He might have used a bit of the battery actually to get by or to keep pace with Lucas, because you can see now as they head into this middle sector that it's really Lucas that has the pace. He's just flying around these corners. So
yeah, Lucas, Igor, in fact, 4 times faster last lap. So they are gaining. We'll see what the result of that is as they come into lap 25.
I'll tell you what though, real quick. Igor coming out of that turn 10 at the top of the hill, he's getting a lot of great exits, and it's keeping him in this because he's gaining time all the way down to this turn 16 they're at now. So whatever he's doing to get out of that turn 10 is working wonders for him.
Yeah, it looks like he's using overtake to boost him through those lower gears fairly quickly as we go into the home straight for what is the penultimate time here. Down to 3/10, DRS live, and the pass could be on here as they're side by side into turn 1. Igor has the inside line and goes P2. Turn 2 now, and Lucas looking for an opening as DRS for Lucas going into that second DRS zone and into turn 4. They're pushing through and onto the inside line on this final lap of the Baku Grand Prix.
Yeah, Lucas getting the position back. It's a tale of 2 overtakes, really, because Bruh actually has managed to get around Jackie Jack as well. So Bruh is back up into 4th position. Nicely done from him. Fizzy, by the way, managed to pass Steph. Is up into P8. He is going to be really pretty much stuck there. The penalty, though, will promote Steph, and Lundqvist Bro looks out of the points as he's down in P11. But nonetheless, biggest battle on track has been Bruh and Jackie Jack and Lucas and Igor. The battle for P4 and the battle for P2. We'll see if Igor has just enough here on this final really stretch.
Yeah, this is the thing. They're going to have DRS going across the finish line. So So this is going to be close. They are now within 3/10 of the back of Lucas Yarn as they go into that final straight. Flavio way out ahead. First place basically guaranteed unless they don't bin it into a wall. And Igor now 3.5 and gaining as DRS is live. We get a yellow flag in sector 2. We'll see what that's about in a moment. But it's neck and across the line by just a 10th. It's Lucas Yarn P2, Igor P3. Jackie Jack manages to make the pass across the line for P4, Bruh P5.
Fantastic from Jackie Jack, just to pip Bruh to P4 at the end. Nicely done. Tazik is going to get P6, Rafa P7, Fizzy P8 on track, but he will lose the time to Steph with the penalty. And then it is, of course, Firefox and Lundqvist Bro at the bottom. So Fizzy will finish P9, 2 points for him. But really good race overall. Igor showed a lot of pace. He wanted to keep kind of pace with these two Aston Martins. He did almost the entire way. Just not enough to get anything more than third position on the podium. He can't beat the Aston Martin 1-2. It was a lockout on the front row, Tipster. It's a lockout in the top 2 spots of the podium as well for Aston Martin 1 and 2, as it is going to be, I believe, Flavio who wins your Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
I don't agree with the game's driver of the day there, saying Andy M is driver of the day, who crashed out halfway through the race. It's been a great fight for the top 3. Igor is definitely putting pressure on those Aston Martins. They wanted a race. They got a race today. Absolutely.
A fantastic race overall. And really, I mean, there's a lot of people who could be happy. There's a lot of people who can be, unhappy, try to shake it off. So we'll see how they go. But nonetheless, this is your final standings. Flavio first, Lucas second, Igor third, Jackie Jack fourth, Bruh fifth, Tazik is sixth, Rafa 7, Steps 8th, Fizzy gets 9th, Firefox 10th, Lundqvist Bro finishes 11th, and then your DNFs, Andy M, Ramon, Starcraft, Murphy's Law, Shantar, Bulldog, Wilhelm, Lars, and Sabbath. Have a look at the race director for your incidents, of course. A lot of people with the cross with pit lane, as you suggested. A lot of people with collision warnings as well, mind you. So, nonetheless, those are all your incidents. And, yeah, a fantastic race in Baku, Tipster. I'm going to ask you to select your driver of the day.
Honestly, it's good to see Igor back on form. They placed second in Bahrain. It's good to see them fighting for the top spot once again after 2 successive DNFs. I'd say that they're definitely up there for my driver of the day. Failing that, Jackie Jack put on a pretty good damn show to get P4, especially just across the line.
Yeah, that's my driver of the day, is going to be Jackie Jack. So that's mine. And I think Jackie Jack, it's Jackie Jack's highest result of the season, mind you. A 7th in Bahrain, an 8th in Spain, picking up little points here and there. Couldn't start at the Monaco race, and then comes in and gets, P4 in the end. So fantastic stuff, really, from Jackie Jack. It was a really, really hectic fight, too. You got to remember, between him and Bruh.
Yeah.
And just to have the mental fortitude to get the retake and the overtakes done, because they swapped places quite a bit there. So for me, Jackie Jack gets the driver of the day. But we are going to have, beg your pardon, some interviews shortly. Firefox is not with us right now, so let's get rid of his name. But we are going to have some interviews for T1. We'll start. I'll let you pick who you want to start with. You got Starboy, Jackie Jack, and Fizzymon. Who would you like to bring in first, Tipster?
Let's bring in Jackie Jack. Let's bring in your driver of the day, shall we?
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. We'll bring in Jackie Jack. Give me 1 second here, just to bring him in.
Do you want me to bring him
No,
in?
I got him. I'm sorry. We also got Steph that's joined us. So, Jackie Jack, a fantastic race overall. Really good pace. Nothing higher than I believe was P8 previously in the season. And here you are with a wonderful P4. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, earlier in the season, had some unfortunate incidents. I've only raced, I missed Monaco. So one thing was my fault, for sure. Other wasn't. I know. Well, I need to keep it out of the wall first.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm really happy about this race. I feel like I could have gotten a podium, but just the pace wasn't in there at the end. I took 1 degree off my wing. That was the plan. So I went from I had 8 during the middle of the race, and then went to 7 for the end. And also I had fresh tires, but I just couldn't do it. But yeah, had good fun fighting there.
Talk to. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Speaking of fresh tires, quite a few safety cars today. Did that make any impromptu changes to your strategy going into the race?
Oh yes. So my teammate Fizzy, he was supposed to pit lap 3, and I was supposed to be lap 4. So he dived in the pits right as a safety car was coming out. Like it couldn't have been more convenient timing for him. So I was pretty jealous. Uh, then after that, we were everybody was on. This was when I remember I was on medium. Some people around were on hards, and it was just kind of weird. And then the safety car came out, and again, Fizzy was in front of me, and so he went to the box, and I made a decision not to box because I didn't want to be held, and also I thought there was a good chance there'd be another safety car later, which I could get onto soft tires or fresh tires, sorry, and use those later, which turned out to be a correct guess. Lucky for me. So that turned out well. Yeah, never could have imagined that strategy though. So I thought that this was just my observations of being in front and looking at the gaps as we were going down the straight. It seemed like I had a lot better. I was a lot faster in a straight line because he had DRS and he was only gaining a few hundredths every tick, which is it's normally like you get a tenth every 3 seconds or something. So I took that into my head and I was like, all right, I think if he gets in front of me, I can probably reach overtake him on the final on the run to the line as long as he's within like 6 or 7 tenths. So that was my thought process. He got past. I wasn't. I mean, I fought it, but I wasn't going to be like, "Yeah, this is my spot. I'm not letting you through at all." Um, and then we were coming towards turn 1 again at some other point, and I got in front after he outbroke himself. I did a little bit of a dummy, and then he got back at me on the next straight. I was just saving my ERS and going, but it was you know the whole thing of do I want to be in front? Do I want to be in back? It's just a nightmare of decision making going into the final lap, and luckily enough, it worked out for me. But it could have gone either way.
Well, with those 2 DRS straights back to back on the circuit, going down the home straight and out of turn 2, there's a lot of switchbacks happening. How kind of what was your strategy to kind of combat that once you passed someone down the home straight?
It was so I really built in straight line speed into my setup. Like I was really trying it. So that helped a lot. But as far as cornering went, when I was in front, because most people were faster through the corners than me because of that setup decision, um, it was really just trying my best to hit the apexes, not crash into castle. Luckily, I didn't do that. And just try my best to hit it's really just hitting the apex around the sector 2 here. You got to do it. I didn't sometimes, and then they were right on my butt, and that's what made it possible for. I mean, he was like 2 tenths behind me going into some of the braking zones before the DRS straights. It's just very clinical, I guess.
Well, we've got Paul Richard next week, France. So definitely looking forward to maybe another top 5 performance from you, Jackie. Jackie, you're going to be leapfrog Giovanni Santos in the standings, and I believe you're going to nestle 1 point behind Steph as well. So really good
I will not
performance.
be there next week, so.
That's a shame. Well, nonetheless.
I don't know of any. I should be able to make consistently a good portion of the rest of the season. I just had Monaco and France that I knew I'd be missing, so
Well,
To be honest, I don't like France too much, so it's all right.
I don't think anybody does, to be fair. Nonetheless, I'm going to say that independently. It's my own opinion and not the reflective of Tipster or anyone else here at AOR. But nonetheless, I'm not particularly a fan of Paul Richard track. It is nice, but it's like kind of boring.
GT3s, it's good.
Yes,
F1, not so much.
that's true. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jackie Jack. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time then at the A1 ring. So good
Thank you very much.
good luck there. We look forward to
Have a
seeing
good
you.
evening.
You too.
And congratulations on your 12 points.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jackie Jack, everybody. Thank you for him for joining us. So we got Fizzy, we got Lundqvist, bro, we got Starboy, we got Steph. We could go in order what they joined, but I want to bring in somebody who has not scored points yet, who I believe has scored their first points tonight. Remind me if you could correct me
don't
if
think
I'm wrong.
so.
Oh,
don't
no,
think
wait.
so.
You were 11th.
No,
That's right.
P11.
Yes.
11th, yeah.
Lundqvist, bro. Talk us through that race, man.
Ah, the goal was to survive. Even then, it was Baku at the end for me. Um, I tried to go and be cheeky with the hards. That didn't end up working too well because after the first safety car, they ended up getting really chilly, I think, and yeah, on that release on that green flag, it just took me out right into the second corner, and then I just tried to push through the mediums, and the issue I ran into was every time I exited the pits, it ran me wide no matter what I did. I was always full lock and nothing. The only thing I walk away from is I survived. For points, maybe there'll be some penalties afterwards. I'll see if I can appeal my thing, but yeah, it was drive to survive basically.
Yeah, well.
Well, I mean, you did manage to survive, and with 9 DNFs tonight, count them 9. That's honestly, that's almost half the field that you've managed to outperform tonight. So it's no mean feat by the look of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, from my experience, even like other seasons in the past, yeah, it's hell. Yeah, that was the big goal. But my anxiety was just running so high. Probably led to some errors or just some lockups and stuff. But yeah, it was hard.
So, what for you is the most difficult part of Baku? Is it getting that straight line speed, or is it making it through those very kind of tight, hard turns through the castle section and 8 and 9?
I'd say honestly, it just ends up being the turn in for me.
Hmm.
It's always been a deceptive thing for me in driving, in racing, because I'm able to get very good traction out, and I've always been good to save tires, and speed hasn't been an issue. It's always just been the turn in, and it's a part of the game I need to work on. And over the seasons, it's worked, but I still need to work it up there.
Well, you've got Paul Richard next week. You know, you had a DNF in Spain. You have DNF in Monaco, but you brought it across the line for the first time this season. So that actually should maybe leapfrog you above a few of these other cars. I have no idea where though. But nonetheless, what are your plans for the kind of the next 2 races? Paul Richard, even so much the next 3, but mainly the next 2, Paul Richard and the A1 ring, because you're looking good. You're finding some consistency, and like you said, it's kind of a drive to survive tonight. You know, you come home in 11th. What have you said you really improved on that maybe going into next week you could look at going one step
um,
further?
sort of just being a bit more paced and cautious, I think. Like, I really let my anxiety get the best of me, both in Spain and Monaco. This race, I really tried to work on really getting through it and really trying to focus. And I know from the past, once I get on that roll, it can become quite consistent. So, yeah, certain net goals are to focus more and just on a lap to lap basis get faster and faster and faster. I'm looking forward to France because there I've over time grown really well with it. I found lines better and better. Austria is Austria, and then I can't wait for Canada, my favorite. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, we're not doing Canada. Yeah.
No.
So, well, look, we look forward to you next week, certainly with Paul Richard, and maybe then we can find a way to break the duck. That would be wonderful, you know. So good luck to you next week, and great drive for you tonight to bring it home in P11 though.
Thank you.
Lundqvist Bro there with P11 in the end. So that is the end of 2 interviews. Who do you want next, Tipster? You got Firefox, Fizzy, Starboy, and Steph.
Let's. I want to see what Starboy's got to say, because there were some interesting things that happened on circuit that I think we can delve into.
Fair enough. Let's bring him in. It's Starboy. Starboy, quite a really hectic race. What was it? Let's get your take on it.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic. Yeah, I took it really safe. I didn't want to crash out in like qualifying or something, so didn't do well in qualifying. Started in the back. I decided not to pit on the first safety car because I just wanted my medium to last a little bit more. So I was I was trying to I don't know. It was really it was really it was losing a lot of grip and it was pretty tough. But and then the second safety car happened. I pitted, but I couldn't get enough heat into it. So after we got back to racing, yeah, I was overshooting all the corners. Yeah, I had no grip. And then first corner, yeah, I was trying to give my teammate a tow, but timing didn't line up. So I was trying to figure out where he was, but I couldn't find him. So I should have gone into the runoff, but I thought I could make it, and then I bonked it into the wall.
Oh, so was it tire wear that did it for you in the end? Not having enough grip in those tires.
No, it was brand new tires, but they were stone cold.
Oh, right. So just not getting the heat into them.
Yeah.
So it's a DNF, I'm afraid. But what are your hopes going forward into Paul Ricard?
I think since it's not a street circuit, there's like you can run off. So I think I can do better next week. But I don't know. I'm a reserve, and they're doing a new like reserve like thing. So I'm probably not gonna race next week. So yeah.
Well, we've already heard from one of our drivers that they're not going to be present next week. So who knows? We may see you again at Paul Ricard. Um, what was your strategy going into this race? Because there was a whole mix of strategies among the field. What was your take on it?
I guess going along, I guess I know that it's a street circuit. It's like the track's kind of small, so overtaking is gonna be tough. There are the straights, but I focus on uh more downforce than straight line speed because I did testing and I saw that probably it's better to keep it safe with more downforce than going with less downforce and trying to go for the straight line speed.
Well,
Well, thank you very much for popping in for the interview. We hope to see you again soon. Hopefully at Paul Ricard, if not further down the line as a reserve driver. But best of luck.
Thank you.
good luck, Starboy. Thank you so much for joining us. That is Starboy, everyone. So we're gonna bring in the EU commentating maestro. He shouts into a mic in the afternoons and he drives a car in the evenings. It is Fizzymon. Fizzymon, a very difficult race for you. P9 in the end with the penalty. It's got to feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity for you.
It's a huge lost opportunity. I mean, I was shouting into my mic several times this race as well. Yeah, so basically in qualifying, that's the first time I did it. So on my first run, I got very, very lucky. StarCraft had made a mistake and actually conveniently gave me a perfect tow. I didn't know what he was doing, so I didn't want to overtake him. So I was kind of like sitting behind him on it, and I had like a very good banker. And then On my second run, I spun in the castle section. So on my final run, which I also got a tow from my teammate Jack, thank you very much for that, I went like very, very defensive through the castle section, lost 2/10 as a result, and then did that lap of a 0.3 and change. And if I actually would have attacked the castle section, I would have been on pole. So that was annoying. And then in the race, the pace was good. Things were falling in my hand. And then on the VSC restart, I went to see if I could get a jump on Flavio. We both moved to the right. I had the energy deployed, and I don't know if either he like had to hit his brakes because of the delta, or if I just ran into him, broke my wing on him, and kind of just went downhill from there. So, it's probably my best Baku race, sadly, because I always have bad Baku races, but I'll take it, I guess. Not the best, but I finished at least. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pace was certainly there to challenge for far up front. Looking at your best lap, um, it was just unfortunate that collision that happened kind of towards the back end. Um, Obviously, we saw a lot of strategies going into this race, and a lot of things had to change on the fly. Anything other than obviously the damage come out of left field for you?
Well, the softs at the end there was a bold move because I mean my first hit on the softs was horrible. I just didn't have any grip on them, and I knew going on to a set of slightly worn quality softs is not going to be easy. So that was definitely a huge gamble for me. Other than that, like it played perfectly in my pans. I mean, I literally was pitting lap 3 to get off the softs when the safety car came out. Like you could not have scripted it any better. It was awesome. And then I came out on mediums. I got the guys around me who I'm battling on hards. I knew that they would go to the end, but I liked my chances in the event of another safety car and got that other safety car. Went for a fresh set of mediums. Was looking good and just made the mistake, and it's just how the way today went. So, but yeah, I think I played it perfectly up until that mistake. So, yeah, I'm not too mad about it. And it's Baku. It's my worst track.
Well, you are going to get leapfrogged by Igor, but you are actually going to settle in, I believe, just a point behind him. And Lars with the DNF, who isn't third in the championship, you only gain 2 points on him, so you're still 10 points back of him. So you're down at P5. The question I have is though, you and your teammate Jackie Jack actually look to be playing well off each other. You saw the slipstream. You mentioned the slipstream you got. You both seem to have very good pace. Before the mistake, you're both running, I think, P4, P5. Is there something between you two that works as teammates that maybe gives you an advantage over the other teams in the field that would help you guys secure maybe second in the construction? We all know Aston Martin is kind of untouchable right now,
Yeah.
but maybe secure second in the constructors.
So we have really good coordination. We've been teammates before, and it worked usually really well for us. And our pace is usually similar.
Oh my God!
When it comes to race day, and yeah, it works out because we can battle, help each other out. So like when he had the safety car restart, we kind of planned that a little bit, just to all right, now let's figure out when you're gonna go, so I can try to get a jump on Flavio. And the teamwork is there. We have really good teamwork, and it definitely is a huge advantage. It's just gonna be a matter of getting not just being the fastest on race day, but also being lucky on race day. Because you saw with the safety cars today, strategy was playing our way for us, but some other guys not so much. So as long as we keep communications open and we work together, and we battle when we have to, and I think we could challenge for it. It's going to be hard to get second because you have Haas, who's got Lars doing well, but that's mainly just Lars for the most part at the moment carrying. And then you have McLaren with Shentar, who he'll come around, but he's struggling at the moment. And then Igor's been really fast, so I think we can battle for second. It's just gonna be hard.
Tipster, any further questions?
No, I think that's everything from me. Paul Ricard coming up, obviously. How are you feeling about that?
I haven't raced it on F1 in a while. The last race there, I had to miss it. So let's put it this way. Here's how I'm feeling about it. Paul Ricard, you look around, the runoff is all track or whatnot. And the only race I've done there in F1, I managed to hit a barrier. So I think that's an upset.
Okay, so high expectations for next week then, Fizzy.
Yep, high expectations. We're gonna go for 2 for 2 for the barrier hits.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to yet another safety car next week then. But
Yep.
that is it for our interview. So look, we wish you the best for Paul Richard. 2 points, still more points. You better score them than not. Obviously, it's all about that consistency. So points in every single race so far this season for you, and definitely more on offer for you next week. We wish you the best.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. That is Fizzymon, everyone. So, two left, Tipster. We've got Firefox or Steph. Who do you want me to bring in next?
Let's get Firefox in. Let's get Firefox in.
You're leaving Steph till last. Okay. It's all good. Let's bring in a wonderful Haas driver who tried to find a pace, eventually brought it home, I believe, in P10. Remind me if I'm wrong. But
10, yeah. I
1
believe.
point for Firefox, mate. How are you feeling about the race?
Annoyed. Quite annoyed.
Explain.
Oh.
Explain. Do tell.
It was a disaster from qualifying onwards for me. Basically, Lars qualified well. I had the pace to match him, pretty much step for step this race, and then Igor spun on like my last flying lap, and I hit him in DNF from qualifying. So I ended up in 14th. I made up 4 places on the first lap in the first like 3 turns, and then binned it in the wall in turn 13. Had to change my front wing, and then the first safety car I got punted off the track. So I fell down to last, and then from there I just kind of got held up the whole entire lap afterwards. Lost like 5 seconds of the pack, and then it was just downhill from there. Basically, I was up to P5 on hards at one point, but the hards were the wrong tire to be on, so I just felt like a stone again. So
talk to me really quickly about what you posted in the. You said you got punted by Ramon on the safety car. Talk me through what happened.
So basically what happened is I decided to play it safe into the first turn because I was on fresher tires than most people. I wanted to play it safe, so I kind of held off. I braked at about the 150 meter board, and then from about 125 to about 50 meters, I just got insistently shoved off the track, and I just went like halfway off the runoff into turn 1. Like I felt it, I felt it in the wheel. Like I just got punted and just flew off the track, and then Ramon afterwards broke his front wing in turn 4, and then just stayed in front of me the whole entire lap, so getting out of the way like he should have done, and just lost me 5 seconds that whole entire lap.
Well, I mean, that sounds like there's going to be something in the steward's office later to do with that, but it certainly looked like you had the pace out there. I mean, your fastest lap of 1:39.4 actually puts you faster than almost on par with our pole sitter today. So, what were your expectations coming into the race?
Top 5, easy top 5.
Easy top 5.
Easy top 5.
Any strategies to go with that?
The strategy was basically for me and Lars and I decided on the qualifying we were going to give each other a slipstream on alternating laps, and then that fell through because Lars got held up on his in lap and couldn't make it in time. So I decided to go on the last lap, and then the last qualifying lap I was 2/10 up out of turn 4, and then out of turn 6 I hit Igor, so I DNF'd on that one, and then decided medium soft was the fast strategy, and then screwed that up immediately too by hitting the wall turn 1 and just breaking my front wing. So had it not been for that, our strategy would have been probably soft to medium, and then both of us would have probably just run our own race instead of trying to fight the people in front of us and just kind of staying out of the walls, and that obviously didn't work. So Lars didn't finish, and I only got 10th.
But then again, regardless of all that, you're still taking home a point, which is more than could be said for 9 of the other runners today.
Yeah.
That was something that was surprising to me, to be fair. 3 safety cars throughout the entire race. Any kind of last minute strategy changes that came about because of that?
Yeah, that I screwed myself up by making a strategy call on that last safety car. I should have stopped for used mediums when I had the chance. Instead, I stayed out on the hards, and that completely screwed my race up because I was 5th, and then I had the mediums on. I probably could have battled my way to 6th. Instead, I dropped out of the points and had to fight my way back by putting softs on and just hunting Lundqvist down for the last couple laps.
So This is like Tipster said. It's another point. It goes with
Yeah.
the I believe 7th place that you had at Monaco. So
Yes.
it's going to move you up to 7 points. It's going to move you a point behind Shentar, who DNF'd. Uh,
Mhm.
are you looking to where are you looking at in terms of the constructor standings at the end of Paul Richard? How do you feel about Paul Richard, and do you think you could break into the top 10 at the end of that race?
Definitely. If I keep it out of everybody else, since there's no walls anywhere near the track, if I keep it out of everybody else, and I don't spin a bunch of times, I should end up top seventh or eighth, sixth or seventh, probably in the race. So I'm looking at trying to leapfrog Jackal and Tezik probably in the standings, and then team standings. I'm trying to stay ahead of, hoping we can stay ahead of McLaren right now.
All right. Well, we look forward to it, certainly, and we wish you best of luck at Paul Richard next week.
Thank you.
That is Firefox, everybody. That leaves one interviewee left for us. We saved the best for last. We saved P8, I believe it was, correct?
Yep.
P8, yep.
P8. It's Steph Farrell. Steph, how you feeling about another
What?
points finishing position?
Well, that was a roller coaster kind of a race, I'll tell you that much. I started outside of the top 10, I'm pretty sure. I decided to stick with the two-stop because I had a feeling we were going to have safety cars. We had, like, what, 3 of them?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, God. And sure enough, I benefited from that. I played it smart, and I was up to P5 at one point. After a second change of mediums, I was doing really well. And then I made a small mistake and had the world's most embarrassing spin. That was bad. That was into like the left-hander. That's like before, I forget the name of the number of that corner. It's the penultimate actual corner before the long run to the end.
Oh, the one
Yeah,
they
like-
call the esports corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Turn
it's like a
15.
really weird downhill left-hander.
Yeah.
That one. I noticed I was braking too late, and I broke hard to prevent me from hitting the wall. And the car just had the world's most embarrassing little drift, and it just ended sideways.
And the back came out by the sound of it. The rear
Yeah,
just didn't stop.
yeah,
It kept
Yeah,
going.
no, it literally just the car slowed down and then just rotated slowly leftward, and I just ended up sideways on the track. And I was just like, "Bruh, what did I do?" Yeah, and I struggled getting it back, like turning it around because I was like in a weird position, and I had to let everyone go. So I lost a bunch of time there. But then the third safety car kind of saved me again because I decided not to pit to regain the positions. But in essence, I didn't have enough pace, so I lost a few positions again. But overall, the last safety car managed to keep me in the points. So uh, basically, just played that one the best I could. So to damage control. So I managed the objective, which was survive. I had a spin, but I survived.
Well, it is 4 points for you tonight.
Mhm.
In terms of strategies going into the race, obviously, a bunch of things happened.
Yeah.
We can certainly say that 9 DNFs, 3 safety cars, 2 very early on. What were your expectations and strategy going into tonight?
Yeah, so like I said, I decided to stick with the two-stop because, on practice and discussing with the other guys, two-stop seemed to be a bit better on the fact that the hards are very slow, like they're very low on grip. And the two-stop gives you a benefit on safety car situations because you have more chances of it lining up with a pit window. So it turns out it played almost exactly like that. So I decided to go for two-stop to have that benefit of safety cars because I knew just from driving and how long it took me to even be able to do my stints without crashing from practicing that we were going to have crashes this game and this season. And sure enough, we had plenty. In fact, Sabbath, he died on the straight right in front of me. I can send you guys that clip. He was just gone. I had to pull a dodging move. And I actually, that was the first time I pit because I saw him die, and I was like, "Oh, VSC, I'm right before the pit lane. I'm gonna stop. It's like lap 4 or something." And I was on stop, so I went like pit now. And effectively, as I decide to pit, safety car calls out.
Full
And I'm
blown.
like,
Yeah.
"Yep." And I'm like, "Right call. Let's go." I actually gained positions from that pit stop. Like I pitted and I gained positions. That's
Yeah,
how good that was.
it's not often you can say that in Formula One, really, is it?
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. It's like I pit, I come out, and then when everything settles down, I'm like, oh, I went from like P11 to like P9 just on that pit stop.
Well,
Okay.
we have Paul Ricard next week. What are your expectations going into that?
Well, considering that Paul Ricard is the anti-Baku, which basically means runoff galore,
Right.
so you won't die if you make a mistake. I think it'll be a bit easier on the stress levels, and also I have practiced that track a bit more than Baku. Baku on this game, this week was the first time I actually like picked it up, other than like the career mode car, which is very slow. Um, so France might be good. I like that track in terms of driving it. It's a flowy track. It's decent for battling. It's not great. It's not amazing, but it's decent enough because it has decent enough straights. I think I should do decently. As long as another driver doesn't do anything dumb and punt me, I should be fine, and I should be on for points again.
Real quick, one last look at the championship before we talk about your aspirations for the rest of the season. Igor is going to leapfrog you. You'll be down to 6 in the championship. Pick up 4 points tonight. You're up to 23. With Tazik, I believe, moving probably. I believe he finished P7 if I remember. So he'll move 1 point behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5, kind of. There's a bit of a gap now with Igor picking up 15 points. He's going to go up to 33, and Fizzy is going to be on 32, and then you'll be on 23. So you'll be 9 back of Fizzy. Do you think you can break into the top 5? Do you think top 5 is doable at the end of the season, or do you think kind of 6 is about where you're going to be?
Well, it'll all depend on multiple factors. The fact is that there's a lot of season to go, so a lot can happen. You can have drivers dropping out. You can have drivers having bad races, drivers having good races. My goal, and it's my usual approach, is to stay as consistent as possible, so that the points build up over time, which is usually how my championships have gone. Um, just try to be there, getting points every race, and take advantage of everything I can. And if I do that, if I don't have a run of bad races, I should be able to maybe break into the top 5, I think. Because, all it takes is 1 or 2 bad races from a driver in front of me to get me within range.
And
Well,
I'm sorry, I have one final question. I beg your pardon. Jackie Jack finished P4, got 12 points. They're going to nestle in also a point behind you, Igor. Jackie Jack looks like they've got a lot of pace in the Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have a certain process in mind with how you want to deal with Jackie Jack in terms of staying ahead of them in a championship, or?
It's again more so that consistency approach. I know Jack is a very good driver. He's up there on with pace with the likes of Fizzy and stuff. When they're on it, they're stepping on the toes of the Brazilians, even though they're not always quite there. I need to try and find a little bit more pace, but mostly I just want to be there when inevitably mistakes can happen from the drivers in front of me, because it's that consistency approach. That's what I preach all the time, because it's worked out for me a lot, honestly.
Well, it reminds me of Brad Gilbert, who said it's not about winning style gracefully. Sometimes it's about winning ugly, and that was a metaphor that he used for that kind of style of play. So hopefully you can capitalize on it and maybe even break back into that top 5 step. So points in 4 straight.
Yeah. It's a bit like that quote from Fast and the Furious. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Exactly. So points in
Yeah.
4 straight. Definitely something to be proud of, and we look forward to your performance with Paul Richard next week.
Yeah. I look forward to it as well. Hopefully that'll be a fun race for you guys to watch.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Thank you so much, Steph. That is Steph Farrell, our final interview of the night. Tipster, any final thoughts on what we just saw?
What a race is all I can say. Things were turned topsy-turvy. We had 9 DNFs, 3 safety cars, strategies thrown out the window at the last minute, and I've got to say, a really intense battle for the top 3 right there, along with a last minute change of position just before the finish line. What more can you ask for
Yeah.
from a race? So for me, I guess it's Sahol and drive safe.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we got 3 we had 3 cross the line finishes on the last lap in the U. We got another one here in NA. You got to love Baku. It's produced some fantastic results. But that is it for tonight's race. We want to thank everybody at home for watching, and we also want to thank our absolutely fantastic sponsors, Elgato, the maker of a wonderful stream deck. If you're looking to take your stream to the next level, you can't do it without the stream deck. Check out elgato.com for more information on that. Driver 61, the official sponsor for AOR in this season 22. You can find classes and events all weekend long that fit your schedule, and training programs that fit your needs as a driver and also your budget, with one-on-one group training and racecraft sessions with elite coaches as well, and over thousands already trained. Definitely want to check out. You can get 25% off as well, a consultation session and a free coaching session when you use code AOR Driver61. That's driver61.com/sim-racing/D61-sim-racing-academy for more details. And our final sponsor, SIMSOK, the first of its kind in sim racing. They are socks built specifically for events like AOR Formula One Championship, with cushioned heel for comfort during endurance events, breathable panels, arch support, special Coolmax yarn that wicks away moisture, and strategically placed unique grips that ensure there are no more feet that slip off your pedals. Check them out at simsok.com. That's SIMSOK.com for more information. A fantastic race here in Baku. Paul Richard next weekend. But once again, we want to thank everybody for watching. So on behalf of Tipster and all of us here at AOR, I am Benikage. It's been wonderful to have you along, and we look forward to you next week in France. Have a great evening.